Real estate update. You know, sometimes we make decisions that we fear will affect our credit or sometimes will end our lives to an extreme. Short sale or filing for bankruptcy. But you know what? Today, we're going to be enlightened because there is actually hope after all those.
This Real Estate Buzz segment is brought to you by McLeod Associates, a full-service real estate and mortgage firm. It's not about the number of homes we sell. It's about the difference we make in people's lives.
And today on the program, of course, we're being joined by Mia McLeod, who will give us that hope that we need. Because, Mia, you know, we hear of people buying homes. There is an uptick in home sales.
Well, yes.
But then at the same time, we also hear of people having to face a decision of whether to short sale
Yes.
their properties.
Yes.
Can you...
Well, I think a lot of people are very scared with how soon. The biggest question when our clients come to us and are thinking of doing a short sale, they want to know how soon after can I buy? And a lot of people think, oh my gosh, it's going to take another decade till I can get back into the real estate market. And that's not true. Actually, you can buy immediately after a short sale as long as you are current on the mortgage when you had the short sale.
Okay.
The house that you're going to buy is closer to work and smaller than your previous home that you short sold. Now, if you were late on that mortgage during the short sale process, then according to Fannie Mae guidelines, you need to wait 2 years until you can buy again. But 2 years is really not a long time.
Yeah, 2 years is short. Why do you think that is? You know, people in the media, they keep talking about how this is such a, and even some realtors are advising against that.
Well, it's a case-to-case basis, definitely. You really need to sit down with a realtor that specializes short sales, specializes in the short sale arena, and really see if it's an option for you. If you have the proper hardship, what's going on with your family or what's going on in your personal life that's causing some kind of hardship. But you have to remember, a lot of the banks got assisted by the government when the economy hit and everything. So short sale is one of those avenues that a homeowner should really look into also, and not have to worry about pulling money from every direction, their retirement and everything, just to save that house, because the bank is giving us that option to look into a short sale and see if that's something that works for you and your family.
What about foreclosure? Is it really that bad? And also, if your spouse goes through foreclosure, will that appear on your credit?
Okay, this is another good question, because depending on which loan program you are going to apply for, people think like, oh, my spouse had foreclosure in the past, so I can't buy, even though the other spouse did not have a foreclosure. So depending on the loan program, if you're applying for an FHA loan program, of course, that guideline requires that you pull the spouse's credit. But so you're probably not going to be eligible if your spouse had a foreclosure within the last 2 to 3 years. But if you are applying for a 5% conventional, you don't have to pull the spouse's credit. So you may be eligible for that program.
All right.
Yeah.
And what about bankruptcy? I'm sure you've been asked this so many times.
Yes, and bankruptcy, I think the misconception there is bankruptcy stays on your credit report for a very long time. So I think people feel that they can't buy once they have a bankruptcy for maybe 7 or 10 years, but that's not the case. Lenders are willing to lend to you after 3 years after a bankruptcy.
Okay.
So imagine 2008, 2009, when the economy hit, now it being 2013, you know, people that filed for bankruptcy back in 2008, which were a lot of folks during the economy, you know, are now able to buy now because enough time has passed.
Right. And speaking of ability to buy, let's changing gears here. What about for those who just arrived here? Maybe, say, an RN who's only worked at the hospital for maybe just 15 months.
Okay. Well, generally speaking, when you apply for a mortgage loan, you need to have 2 years employment history. But there are some exceptions that these lenders make, especially for those in the medical field, RN, LVNs, very solid jobs. You know, if you only have 1 year of work history, and the bank can make an exception if the year before that, let's say you were studying to become an RN and then you've only have one year of RN experience right now in the actual field.
Right.
They will ask for your transcripts and diplomas to kind of use that as 2 years history, so that way they can make an exception. Or like you said, if you're a kababayan that came from the Philippines and, you know, was an LVN there and now working as an LVN, they can also cross-check your employment history there in the Philippines.
When you say employment history, does that mean with just one employer? What about freelancers?
That gets a little bit tricky, but the bottom line is as long as the position and the field that you work with is the same, you can work for as many different companies. So let's say you were an RN, but you worked in the Philippines, and then you came over here, you worked at Kaiser for maybe 6 months, and then you work at another hospital for
or
another
you have no
3 months.
permanent employment. It's all, shift in it, just 3 part-time jobs.
Yes, but all the same line of work, let's say, then you shouldn't have a problem. The issue where it gets challenging is if you were a secretary for one employer and then all of a sudden you are now a teacher.
Oh, okay.
You have employment history for 2 years, but the industry shifts that much, they may question that.
Okay.
That's why meet with a licensed loan officer, really get them to understand so that you can see what options are available to you.
And it is important to find somebody who can explain things to you so you can make an educated decision. That's the information on the screen. Number to call if you want to consult with them, Mia McLeod and Associates. Thank you. More power to you.
Thank you.
More when we return on Kababayan Today. Don't go away.